Day of the race, in the morning I like to eat some bread, and actually I always eat bread with this stuff on it before the race. Tomato basilicum spread. With World Cup you need to be qualified based on your ranking, or you need to be selected by a national team. They only sell that at Aldi, actually. I'm not sponsored by the Aldi. So for a normal UCI race you can just register and show up. Yeah, now we're early. Jelle's preparing the bikes, and now it's the men's under 23 race. My race is in 3 hours. I was lucky to get in for the World Cup in Bern, even though I was not top 50. After the under 23s are done, I'll go to the course, check some laps. We still had one spot left at the national team to be given away, and I got the spot for the first race in Bern, and yeah, that's how I got to Bern. And then I come back to the camper, dress up, get the suit on, and go on the roller, 30 minutes on the roller, and then I roll to the start, and then we start. Well, on the day of the race I was pretty excited straight away from when I woke up, because yeah, the first World Cup of the season, first big top race of the cross season, and yeah, it's always stoked to be lining up on races like that. Far away like shooting stars. This is our day and someone else's mask can take that. These are the races that will actually show how good of a rider you are, because you're racing against the best riders out there, and yeah, that makes it really exciting. Hartstikke bedankt. Ja, ja, en we komen binnenkort een keertje bij u koffie drinken. Ja. Dat ik van de week met Joris afgesproken. Ja. Of heeft u dat al gezegd? Well, of course, the atmosphere is really cool. It's the first World Cup of the season. You've missed each other kind of the entire summer, and you see a lot of familiar faces again. Like, you say hello there, you're not gonna camper over there, and yeah, it's like a lot of familiar faces, and everybody's like happy to see each other again, and they also know, like, yeah, the season is really about to start now. So now we're on our way to the camper of Alici Arzufi. She won the Super Seas in Boom yesterday, and 2 years ago I was bikepacking in Italy, and she made me a giant cake when I passed her house, and she really likes Vegemite. And nobody else in the world likes Vegemite if you're not from Australia. And actually they don't sell it in the Netherlands, but they sell it in England. And I saw it at the supermarket in England a lot of times, and she can never find it, so I bought her Vegemite. Hallo. Yo. I brought you some more Vegemite.
Thank you very much.
And good luck on your race yesterday.
Thank you.
I saw it in the supermarket in England all the time. Well, good luck.
Thank you, and good luck you too.
Yeah, I'm parked next to the start. I will scream for you at the start.
Okay,
well, see you later. Nou, dat was Vegemite. Dan gaan we weer verder. Tot de volgende keer. Veel succes, jongens. For a cyclocross rider, his mechanic is one of the most important factors in being a successful athlete, and for me it's really a good thing that Jelle is always with me, and I think it's now the 6th year that we travel together, and yeah, you really get to know each other really well, and despite the age difference of over 30 years, like, yeah, he's like my mechanic, but mainly like a really good friend, and we're always together, and yeah, he knows how to react to me on the races, and I know how to react to him, and I think together we are such a strong team, and that's why we travel so much together, and yeah, that's why we laugh so much together. Jelle feels that I'm getting nervous, he just comes up to me and says the magic words. He asked me like, hey, why were we here for all again? And I'm like, yeah, to win this bike race. And he was like, no, we're here because we like it. And then I know straight away, like, for Jelle it doesn't matter if I win or lose or if I'm quick or slow, as long as we have a good day on the bike. And if I did not quit the bike race, then it's all good. And I never in my life quit a bike race, and we're always on the road together. Special to roll up to a start line of a World Cup. Yeah, you're racing on the highest level, and as a kid when I saw the races on the TV, I was like, it would be cool to one day do a race that comes on the TV. World Cup, and a lot of people might not know this, is that the boxes in the tech zone, they have big numbers on them. Every country has their own box. So we as Dutch elite riders are only allowed to swap bikes in the box number we have for that race. And if the Netherlands show up to the race with 8 riders, there's like 16 people of pit crew in that one little box in the pit crew that needs to help us. So that brings to those races a lot of more tension in the tech zone. But if you do a C1 or C2 race, your mechanics can just go and stand where they want, because the boxes are not numbered and you're not restricted to a certain number where you have to swap your bikes. Cross the finish line, on one side you're always happy that it's over, because yeah, racing cyclocross is a lot of fun, but it hurts in the legs. So yeah, when you cross the line you're like, oh, well, that was it for today. But then straight away, I think in my mind, as soon as you cross the finish line, preparation for the next race starts. Saw some familiar faces after the race. That's always really cool to see, especially because I have so much people cheering for me and screaming my name. So took some time for the people around there, just quickly put on a jacket, rolled back to the camper, stepped on the roller, and yeah, that was basically like how I finished up the race. And then, you know, like, well, next race is coming soon again. To introduce you really short to the Klaus family, which it's pretty cool. We're now at the World Cup here in Bern, And the first year was 3 years ago. It was a C2 race, and it was organized by Roland and a lot of other people, of course. But that's how I got to meet them, and I sent them an email like, yo, do you know an Airbnb or a hotel in the area? And they were like, but how many people are you coming? I was like, yeah, just me and my mechanic and the Kangoo. And it's like, oh, you can stay at our place. And now, 3 years later, and I still haven't left the Klaus family. So I stay always when I'm in Switzerland, I stay with them. And last year I did almost all the races here, and I stayed always with them, also in the summer. And yeah, now again, last week was the entire week here in Bern, and yeah, since the last 3 years I've been so much here. Maybe you heard all the support around it. This actually turned out to be my home race, and basically thanks to them for letting me stay always with them in the Klaus house. So that's Roland, that's Kirsten, Sarayna and Florina. And I think Gosse.
That's Gosse.
So the story behind the moustache is actually, you have in Canada those ice hockey players. If they're in the playoffs, they always don't shave their beards anymore. So they shave their beards, or they don't shave their beards anymore for as long as they're in the playoffs. So if they reach the finals, everybody has big beards. But as a cyclocross racer, like as I told you earlier, we race every weekend from September until February. So you do over 30 races. Well, and the motivation goes down a little bit after the championships. So the last weeks of the season, like, let's say most people are not training so much anymore. You're just going from race to race to race, and you just look out to the end of the season. And then with some other riders, we were like, oh man, looking out to the end of the season, blah blah. So then we said like, then it took another 3 months to grow it back again, and ever since then I never cut my mustache again when I need to go quick.